1.5 years ago, we stopped investing completely. And I figured it was time to check in on the progress we've made since we made this big shift on our financial journey. Without investing anything over the past 1.5 years, what happened to our investments? Did they go up? Did they go down? And by how much? I'm going to answer these questions in this video and talk through the changes we've seen in the past 1.5 years. So let's get into it. Before I get into the numbers, let's talk about the change we made 1.5 years ago. If you don't know our story or haven't been following along since we started this YouTube channel, in February 2023, my husband quit his day job. He took a break from any type of work and after a couple months of rest, joined me in entrepreneurship. Before he left his day job, we were saving well over half of our income. And we'd been doing that for several years after slowly working our way up to saving more. We made a lot of progress on our journey to financial independence, but we still had a long ways to go before work was completely optional. We had crossed several notable milestones along the journey, including building up FU money and reaching Coast Financial Independence, or Coast-Fi for short. If you aren't familiar with Coast-Fi, it's a milestone where you have enough saved and invested that with enough time, compound interest will do the rest of the work to fund your retirement. You no longer need to save or invest toward retirement. Time and growth will get you the rest of the way there. As the name suggests, you can coast to financial independence. Reaching this milestone gave us a ton of confidence that we didn't make a change to fully coast all at once. We made several small steps along the way, including me choosing to work part-time, starting a business on the side, and eventually leaving my part-time job to focus solely on the business. It was about 2 years after that point that my husband decided to quit and join me in the business. And overnight, we went from saving over half of our income to saving 0%. Nada, zip, zilch. This was in February of 2023. Since that point, we have not contributed a single dollar to our retirement accounts. By the time this video comes out, it will be about 1.5 years exactly. It's not that we hate investing or will never do it again, but we simply decided to shift our priorities. Right now, instead of working full-time high-income jobs, we're prioritizing making the most of our time, traveling in our camper van, and building up a business that can support us long-term. We anticipate getting to a point in the future that we will save some money again, but it's no longer our priority. We want to use the financial freedom that we have gained to improve our lives now and not wait for an arbitrary milestone 7 to 15 years down the road when work could truly be optional. Even though we had taken many small steps to design our lives prior to Corey quitting his job, the decision still felt scary. We didn't know how the business would do. We didn't know if the economy would fall apart or if it would boom. And the funny thing is that you never know what the future will hold. And this is true for the economy and investing in general. And yet, sometimes the uncertainty can hold us back. There were a couple of things that gave us the confidence to finally take the leap. The first was that we took steps and made smaller changes all along the way. We gained confidence by doing. I think this is a misconception about confidence that people have. People often think that they need to wait to take action until they have confidence, but taking action is actually one of the most powerful things that you can do to boost your confidence. We also learned from other stories who have taken similar paths. It's possible to learn from other people's journeys. So many people have come before us in this journey to financial independence and in their transition to entrepreneurship. Seeing their success and their ability to navigate challenges along the way gave us confidence to do the same. This is why I'm excited to do this check-in with all of you. and for the first time, share our full numbers of our investing balance over the past 1.5 years. We don't do this to boast or brag, but to provide one more piece of evidence that investments will grow even if you aren't contributing to them. Hopefully this will boost your confidence to make a change of your own. And selfishly, this is a reflection point for us as we make this video. It's helpful to remind ourselves that we're continuing to make progress toward our long-term goals, even if we aren't saving a dime. So many of us have limiting beliefs about money. Theoretically, we might know how compound interest works, but when the rubber hits the road, we worry that everything is going to fall apart. We think we'll lose everything and end up on the street. Maybe you don't go down that extreme of a negative spiral, but if you identify at all with this line of thinking, drop a comment below and let me know I'm not alone. Our fears and limiting beliefs about scarcity can feel so real. That's why we need to identify them and work through them. If you want help identifying and working through the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, I'll drop a link to my free 6-day email course in the description below. Okay, so let's get into the numbers. Let's start with how much we had invested when Corey left his day job. Corey left his day job at the end of February 2023. March 1st was his first day of fun employment. I logged into our Empower account where we track all of our investing accounts in one place. This allows us to easily see our investment balance at any point over the past 11 years that we've been using it. On March 1st, 2023, we had $758,065 invested. We felt really fortunate and proud to have that much invested by the age of 35. We found some good timing, having started our investing journey after the 2007 to 2009 recession, but we also missed some of the prime investing window, having graduated in the summer of 2009. However, this doesn't take away from the effort that we put into saving and investing early in our 20s, even when our income was nothing to brag about. Have I ever told you about that one year I did AmeriCorps and I made $11,000 for the year before taxes? Okay, so $758,000 is our starting point of where we started to fully coast in March of 2023. Back then, as I mentioned, we had no idea where we would be at this point in time. At the end of July of 2024, almost 1.5 years later. But before I share our current investment balance, let's talk through what the market has done in the past 1.5 years. In preparing for this video, I actually found a great historical return calculator on Don't Quit Your Day Job or DQYDJ.com. I'll share the link to the calculator in the description below. It allows you to put in 2 months across history and then shows the returns of the S&P 500 across that period of time. So we put March 2023 and June 2024 because I'm filming this in July before the month is over, and it showed the total return, including reinvesting dividends of the S&P 500, and that was 38.499%. Wow. It also shows the annualized returns and the cumulative return without reinvesting dividends. Because our investment portfolio closely mirrors the S&P 500, if we were to apply the 38.499% to our starting balance, the ending value should be close to $1,049,912. And it's actually not that far off. When we log back into Empower, which is a free tool that allows us to see our net worth and investment portfolio across all of our accounts, we can see that our balance as of recording this in July is $1,024,869. Let me say that again. We have over $1 million in our investment accounts. We've gained $266,804 in the past 1.5 years. All without investing a single dollar during that time. We can't expect to receive the same amount every 1.5 years. We know this from our 15 years of investing. The market will go up and it'll go down over time. But this is the power of building wealth to a point where your money earns more money than you actively earn with a salary. Eventually, we will get to the point where our balance will generate enough wealth that we will be able to withdraw from our investment portfolio without depleting our assets. We're not there yet, but we are to the point where even a 10% change makes a huge difference in our investment balance and net worth. That's the power of compound interest and CoastFi. But you may be wondering, why is it lower than what was expected? Here's why. We sold off about $50,000 of investments earlier this year when we bought our New Hampshire home so that we could pay in cash instead of taking out a mortgage. So we even withdrew $50,000, or about 5% of our investment portfolio, and our money still grew. As I touched on earlier in this video, past performance does not suggest future returns. That's not to say that if you make the same decision today that you will see the same returns. But statistically speaking, the market is more likely to go up than down, especially in the long term. And assuming the market performs even remotely similar to how it has over the past 80 to 100 years, you too can get to a point where you stop investing and let compound interest do the rest of the work for you. If you want to learn more about our decision to stop investing, watch this video next, where we talk about the decision to stop investing entirely. And thanks for watching, and enjoy the journey.